As you guys know, we're here to discuss and learn a little bit more about how racism, bias, and stereotypes impact the students here on campus, and we appreciate your willingness to share any and all of your stories with us. So before we start, I want to have you guys go around and, starting here, introduce yourselves with your name, your pronouns, and then your ethnic background.
My name is Annalena, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm mixed race. My mom is white and my dad is black.
I'm Elio, my pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm Mexican American.
I'm Jenny, my pronouns are she, her, and my mom is South Korean and my dad is white.
My name is Kale, my pronouns are he, him, and my ethnicity is I'm Vietnamese.
My name's Kristen, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm black and Filipino.
So given that we're about to go into No Place for Hate Week, the first question I have for you is, what does hate mean to you guys?
I think hate is more intentional malice, because I think there's definitely a difference between saying something or doing something to intentionally hurt someone versus saying and doing something because you don't know why that's wrong.
I find that hate is often a gut reaction to something. Once you really get to know someone or something, you tend to hate it a lot less if you can understand the situation and the background that they come from.
So have there been experiences any of you have ever experienced as an individual, hate being directed at you or watching it happen?
Well, I guess I could start with this one. When I was a freshman, I had several interactions with a certain individual who would go out of his way to make it known that my race was not of his approval, and it was always racial slurs and very intentional taunts to try to draw I guess a reaction.
Is one that I get a lot, and I used to be an English language learner up until third grade, and so one that I used to get a lot was, "Oh, that's a big word for you." Oh, thanks. Not really.
There are a lot of forums, on the internet or for classes, where they want to know what ethnicity you are. And a lot of the time they only let you choose one option, and for me, choosing either option, like white or Asian, makes me feel like I'm leaving out a large part of myself. One time I had a teacher who wanted me to fill out a form, and there were a bunch of boxes, and there was one white and one Asian one, and I was like, can I put both? And he told me that I couldn't be two races, that wasn't physically possible. Which, I don't know, I felt sort of left out, or it's a strange experience.
I had a little bit of a similar experience where I definitely felt like too white to be black and then too black to be white, and sort of, especially in this community because we're so homogenous, and I'm sort of floating and I don't really know where I fit in with that.
Similar to Jenny, I also haven't really experienced too much of that to myself on this campus, but as a football player I see it a lot on the field, whether they mean it or not, or they're just saying it in the heat of the moment. I've gotten comments why are you playing football, why are you on the field, shouldn't you be off doing math homework or something like that. And I understand that maybe it could just be because they're frustrated, or maybe they don't actually mean it, but that is just an example that I see all the time on the field, and it tends to come back every game.
So it's sounding like some of your experiences with maybe not so much hate but intolerance have to do with stereotypes. So does anybody have extra or additional things they want to speak to about the stereotypes that exist?
I don't necessarily have a problem with stereotypes, because I don't want it to sound bad, but stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. Usually there's instances that back it up, but that doesn't make it justifiable to categorize everybody of that race or ethnicity to that stereotype. I understand that there are many instances, maybe the majority, that support the stereotype, but don't be surprised when you come across somebody that breaks it or differs from what you're used to.
One way or another.
I have definitely been in rooms, even classroom settings, where I notice I'm the only person of color, and I'm not even that dark. I'm tan, but I'm not. And so then every time there's a comment made or something, I feel like I need to speak up, but obviously I cannot speak for all people of color because I can't speak to everyone's experience. So there's a lot of pressure, especially when comments like that are made, or people expect me to know. Like, I've been perceived as Mexican, Native American, Indian, Cuban, Brazilian, like whole variety of different things that I am not. And so people will be like, oh, shouldn't you know? Or I've had people ask me questions about Spanish. I do not know Spanish, so I can't help you with that.
I was in middle school. I was in a more advanced class. Not anymore, but it's another story. I was in an advanced math class, and a lot of people were surprised when they found out my last name was Garcia. They're like, oh, we thought you were Indian. I'm like, well, what? Why? And they're like, oh, because, this is an advanced math class. It's like, so saying Mexicans can't be in advanced math classes, or?
I guess the most I could say is it's like walking around Poway, where it's very largely one demographic. You will sometimes draw a lot of attention when you're doing ordinary things, like with shopping. Somebody shouldn't be drawing stares when they're just picking up something they want to eat. Like, it's always a complicated thing.
I'm hearing a couple of things happening. I'm hearing you guys talk about your experiences in school and kind of out in the community at large, but I'm also hearing a lot of talk about language, where you're talking about like words that have been used to either apply to you or things that have been said to you.
For me, it doesn't happen just at school. Sometimes it happens at home too. Like, sometimes my mom will be like, do you want to bring rice to school for lunch? And I mean, of course I want to bring rice. I love rice. But my mom will be like, are you sure people won't judge you if you're bringing rice to school? Or like, I don't think, or I'll ask her if I can bring something Korean to school for lunch, and she'll be like, that'll smell really bad and everyone will hate you.
Oh. Sounds like your mom has had experiences also.
Yeah. Yeah, just stuff like that. And I mean, I've talked to other people who want to, like, especially Asian people who want to pass more as white, and so they'll try to repress their culture, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of had the opposite, but it's related. So I'm very proud to be Mexican, and I'm very like, yes, I'm Mexican. Yes, that's me. This is the holiday that's happening, and I'm celebrating that. Look. And so I'll get a lot of like, oh, why are you, so loud about being Mexican? And it's like, well, because it's who I am. It's my culture. It's a very important, integral part of my identity. Why wouldn't I be?
I guess I feel most proud when it's like something like it'll happen and you'll brush it off, but somebody else who maybe isn't in the same shoes as you sees that, notices it's wrong, and then stands up for their view of why that's wrong. Like recently at the football game, like there was that one incident. It was bad, but I think what was great about it is somebody from outside stepped in and tried to, like, hey, maybe we just have to be more careful about what we do. And I think that was really proud, because that was like somebody standing up for us when they didn't need to.
If you don't know, ask, or do some research. Quick Google search, like, hey, is this word okay? Do a little bit of research, because the more people know, I feel the better we're able to have open conversations and be like, okay, well, this is why I feel like that word isn't wrong or isn't right, and here's what we can do moving forward. So knowledge and research and asking.
So along the lines of ignorance, I think it's important that when someone says something or does something that's wrong, when you tell them that it's wrong, you need to do it in a way where you don't shame them. You need to inform them of what their action is, why it's wrong, and how it makes you feel. Because if you just shame someone for their actions, then they aren't going to learn why what they're doing is wrong. They're either just going to hate you or learn to stay away from using those words, but not really understand the full consequences of what they did.
And just take a couple seconds to think, like, what effects can, like, these couple words that I put out have on this person.
Yeah, just adding on to what Kale says, it's like acknowledging that everybody is coming from different places, so everybody's going to have a different view on certain things. So it's just know who you're talking to, and maybe like that extra second will do a lot.
Like, be respectful when you're asking questions, because I know, like, I don't mind questions being asked. I think it's very respectful if you don't know something. I obviously can't speak for everybody, but like, somebody's like, hey, what ethnicity are you? I would be happy to share my story with you, but like, what are you? Which is a question I get a lot. So like, just think about the way that you phrase things and how that would affect you if somebody, like a random person, which just went up to you and like, what are you?
Thank you so much, you guys, for doing this for us, for Poway High, for No Place for Hate Week.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
Thanks, guys.